Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of A Bit of This and a Bit of That. My name is Yulyah Baharani, and this is a new episode after a very long time. And this is about my birthday. Yay! That opening greeting sounds odd in my own ears. It's just too long. It's been too long, you guys. I am a bit hyper right now, so bear with me. This episode is about my birthday. I made it for my birthday. Albeit it has passed more than a week already, but still, this is a special episode for my birthday. And I guess I don't know. This is basically a random talk. I just want to because there were quite lots of things that happened in the course of my birthday, the days before and after my birthday, and I feel like I need to talk about it on my podcast to share it with you all, and to I don't know to make my birthday a bit more special. It is special already, but I just want to kind of make it even more special by talking about it on this very precious podcast of mine. So this is the talk. I just want to talk about, I don't know, the many things I feel and realize as I age 1 year more and I live my time on earth 1 year less. Um, I'll just be talking about anything that crosses my head. But what I'm feeling these days is mostly gratitude, so that should be the main thing, the main topic for today's episode. I will share some events that happened during the course of the last few days, before and after the day of my birthday. So what should I just want to share that. So my birthday this year feels a bit more special because there are quite some I don't know how to what the adjective that suits that the most, but I guess eventful is the correct word. There are many things that they're quite unusual for bad and for good reason. Well, bad reason, but in the end, I can accept it in a good mindset, with a good mindset. So 2 weeks ago on Monday, to be precise, I got the news that my mom was hurt in an accident. It was so sudden, and after learning about that my mom was involved in an accident, it felt like my soul was leaving my body. I was numb for a few minutes. I don't know. I didn't quite remember what I felt at that time because it was so I don't know. I cannot I cannot quite put that emotion into word because it felt so weird. It was terrifying, and at the same time I couldn't make out of that information. I just My immediate reaction was just praying and praying for hours, praying my mom uh, to be all right. And it hit me even more because the night before, exactly the night before, I missed my mama's call as I was too focused on my laptop. I actually wanted to call back as soon as I saw my phone and saw that my mom actually phoned a few hours before. But I realized it's too late already, so my parents must have slept already. So that night passed by, and So, my first thought when learning about the accident was, thank you, God, for keeping my mama all right. Because I don't know, I cannot and I don't want to imagine how I would feel if, my mom is not all right and, you know, knowing that and knowing that the last thing I do with mama is missing her call. Oh God, I just don't want to imagine that. Like, oh goodness, no. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. I don't want to imagine that happened, like, ever. So, you know, hearing that my mom is, it was weird. And actually, hearing that my mom is not well is extremely weird and strange for me, because as far as I can remember the last time my mama was sick. It was like I was still in primary school, so it was a long time ago. So for me, having been with her for so many years, and for me, my mom has always been like a superwoman, because I forget that I even forget the last time she was sick. Like when I was in primary school, I just remember that lots of people came at our house, and a doctor came to check on my mom's. But it was just that for many years she's almost always all right. So for me, in my head, she's like this figure, this superwoman that, always strong, never weak. So it rarely crosses my mind that my mom is actually an ordinary woman, an ordinary human who can be not well at times, who can fall sick anytime. That's why it was so so weird for me. So the biggest lesson from my mom's accident is that life is the most fragile thing in this world. So um, it was it was a chance for me to relearn, to learn again, to treasure my life and to treasure the people that I love. And that's the first thing I want to talk about. I want to share. Let us all treasure our lives and treasure the people we love. Thankfully, my mom is all right. Other than the scarring on her face, she's pretty much all right. And now she's getting better every day. And a few days later, on my birthday eve, Um, my dad called in the morning and at night. Actually, calling me at night before my birthday has been a tradition since forever. We talked about lots of things. And at that night, at that call, my dad asked me what I want for my birthday, and I told him that I just want all of us, the eight of us, my two parents and my six, and all us six siblings. I just want us to be healthy and to live well. And that would be the greatest blessing, the greatest birthday gift ever. Um, Dad actually told me that. Dad told me they actually didn't want us to know about the accident because they knew that we will get worried, especially me. I'm not good at. I don't want. I don't know. I guess I'm weak at this kind of circumstances. Um, so they tried to keep the information from being out, but such information is hard to keep a secret when you live in a small, close, you know, in the kind of neighborhood where we live. It's a small and close knit neighborhood. Anyway, that early birthday talk with my dad, with my mama chipping in every now and then in the background. She could talk already at that time. That birthday talk became my biggest and best birthday gift this year for my birthday this year. I was so happy during and after that talk that I couldn't stay still for some 30 minutes or so. I was then walking and singing and gushing and saying prayer and gratitude. I have always been animated, but that night was really, really special. Knowing that, you know, our family is all right, and my mom is all right, my dad is all right, us, the siblings, are all right. It is the biggest blessing I could ever received. That night, after talking to my parents, I did my usual stuff. It's kind of a ritual for me, which is staying late until the day changes to my birthday to read some surah in the Holy Quran and praying. It put my mind at ease doing that. It's kind of like an affirmation that, I don't know, an affirmation that I'm still living well and I'm still living with, with the ever grateful heart. I took 2 hours rest after praying. I woke up for subuh for my morning prayer and started my day as usual. In the late afternoon, I finally checked my phones and I received so many prayers and kind birthday wishes from the people that knew me, that close to me, and some breads and cakes as well, as I am known by my close ones that I love cakes and breads. I also treated myself to my favorite bread and martabak because it's my birthday. Although I treat myself whenever I want, though, irrespective to birthday or not. Anyway, that night, I spent my night treating my housemates and being treated back with some good laughter, good conversation. I also talked to my family and close friends, reading some poetry as part of the ritual, writing some notes that I got choked up as I was writing that, and got choked up again reading it. Oh, I was too emotional. Like, I am emotional at you, like, even the most ordinary day. So you can imagine for a special occasion how emotional I can be. Oh yeah, I sent my parents as well. Uh, I sent them an annual birthday card. We we have that habit of sending like a gratitude card whenever there's a special occasion, but mostly when it's our birthday, to our parents to thank them for taking care of us, for taking care of me this time, all this time. I guess I should just read that. I want to read it. It's intended for my parents and, read only by them and my siblings. But I guess you guys, my precious listeners, are in a way also my loved ones. So I guess it's okay to share. Why do I have to say so much to make an excuse? The truth is, I just want to read that. So this random talk can have something good in it. Anyway, wait. I should have the card on my phone. Mm. I know this is a random talk, but this is too random. Oh, goodness. Oh, okay, here we go. I wrote it in Bahasa, so I will translate it into English as I read it. Wait. Oh, to my father and to Bapak and Mama, my parents, my beloved parents, um, in the day of my birthday. Is that correct? I don't know if this is the correct translation. Wait, I will repeat it. Sorry, guys. Oh, I hope whoever's listening to this right now, you guys are enjoying this. I hope. Sorry for this. But I already told you this is a random talk. So expect randomness. Anyway, I will repeat um, my reading of the card, the annual card I sent to my parents. To Bapak and Mama, my beloved parents, in the occasion of my birthday, thank you for giving birth and raising me well. Thank you for um, thank you for the parenting full of passions. Thank you for always trying to tolerate and understand. Thank you for always being optimistic and for always trying to keep my spirit up in spite of everything. As I age more, no, the more I age, the more I understand about lots of things, about being a human, about being a child, about being a parent. Thank you for being the best parent. Thank you for being the best parents. Thank you for all the conversation and the advices that shape me as an individual. Thank you for your love, affection, and lesson that become my anchor as I live my life. Thank you for being my home on earth, on this earth. Thank you. This is quite hard to translate. Um, Thank you for. Uh, I don't know how to translate this. This is kind of poetic in Bahasa Indonesia, so I don't know if I can translate this to a poetic English. Thank you for being my home on this earth. Thank you for um, being the mouth for fun and joyful conversation together. Thank you for being the ears for me to complain, and thank you for the embrace for me to go back to. Oh, with a heart full of love and gratitude, your daughter Bito. Oh, I think I did a decent job translating it. Bito is my nickname. Uh, anyway, that is the birthday card I sent my parents to thank them for being the best all this time, for giving me a good life, and for teaching me to be a decent human being, I guess. That night I spent an unusual long time on my phone for texting and for social media, catching up with several people and spamming stuff on my Instagram story. All kinds of stuff, that add to my happiness. I just go overboard that night. My day was closed with a heartwarming conversation I had with my abang, my older brother. He already wished me a happy birthday the night before, when before I had my early birthday talk with my parents, with my dad and mom. But of course, he being my best older brother, of course, he had to do it once again. So yeah. Yeah, so that night was a very joyful night. If someone took a picture of my sleeping, of me, sleeping, I most probably would be seen smiling ear to ear in my sleep. That's how happy I was that day, that night. So that is the day of my birthday. And the next day, on Tuesday, ah, so on Tuesday, the day right after my birthday, a friend texted me that she is in Jogja for works and that we should spend the night together before she leaves the next morning. I have quite a special story about this friend. So, at that point, I had never met her yet. We knew each other because a friend of mine named Dian, is her friend as well. And I and Dian, together with one other friend, PP, we have a podcast together called Suara Perempuan. Go listen to that, please. Anyway, Dian asked that friend. Her name is Intan or Ai, but I called her Ai because I think uh, we're good friends already. So anyway, uh, Dian asked Ai to be a guest on that podcast, and that's how I first knew her. And that night of recording turned out to be an amazing night. We talked a lot. We talked about lots of things, deep things, personal things. And because it ended so wonderfully, we decided to just be friends. Not just friend, but close friends. As simple as that. Because that it was full of warmth and some tears shed as well. Anyway, back to meeting I in her hotel. So we could only meet after 10 p.m. because I got works from morning until night. And 10 p.m. is actually quite far beyond my comfort zone. I usually just stay inside beyond 9 unless it's, going outside with lots of people, with lots of my friends, but never alone. Um, but the hotel where I was staying is not very far from my place, so I thought it's okay, it's fine to, go outside to go there even later than 10 p.m. Um, Now to the main story. So, what made this from an ordinary night to a night of, um, I guess I want to call it a night full of surprise? Something happened in my way to the hotel where I was staying. But before that, a bit of confession here. I cannot ride any transportation devices. Not a bicycle, not a motorcycle, not a car, not anything. Only feet. And not only that, but I can put Roro Zoro to shame with my sense of direction. I have zero sense of direction. How how unfortunate is that? Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, sometimes I am even confused which one is left and which one is right. That's how poor my sense of direction is. So because I am like that, going somewhere alone, it has always been, kind of, it's always a bit of an adventure for me. And that night is not an exception, of course. It is an adventure in its own way. So at, I guess, a few minutes past 10 p.m., I ordered Grab. It's an online transportation service. Everything went well until until a few minutes later we arrived in a busy. It's quite a busy intersection in Jogja, and it's around 150 meters away to the hotel. So I only need to go right from that intersection. And my ordinary trip suddenly took a turn because apparently at that time there's a fight occurred between the supporters of two football clubs right on the street I needed to pass to arrive at the hotel. Oh goodness, talk about timing. So, because the road was closed we had to take a different route because I needed to just, I just needed to, I just had to meet this friend of mine, no matter the circumstances. So we had to go looking for another route, and it is a much longer one, and we had to go through a desolate area, and I was not familiar with that area. And especially with my very poor sense of direction, I had no idea at all where I was and whether I was on the correct route. And it was almost midnight as well, so I had to rely solely on the driver, which was a complete stranger for me. So, to be honest, I was very scared. It was terrifying. But this driver, I guess, sensing my nervousness, he started to talk to me. He started to talk to me, reassuring me that he's a good person and that we're going to arrive safely at my destination. And he kept reassuring me that way. And at some point, he started to talk about himself. And the point he's starting to talk about himself, I could feel my nervousness gradually disappearing. I guess giving parts of ourselves is really the easiest way to show and exchange trust, and it worked for me and him that night. So we talked a lot, and we talked more, especially whenever we went through a dark alley, um, and whenever, because even though I had put my trust in this person, I couldn't help but being feeling nervous again whenever we had to cross a dark, desolate alley. So whenever we went through that kind of area, the driver repeatedly reassuring me again that it's all right, that he's a good person, that we're going to arrive safely. And at some point, we almost arrived. I could see the sign of the hotel my friend was staying at, and at that time, I could feel my heart bursting with warmth and relief. I don't know. It was just relief, pure relief I felt at that time. Anyway, I then arrived. I left a long emotional review to that driver after I arrived because my heart was full. It was genuine happiness and genuine gratitude and genuine relief. Actually, I initially wanted to keep this random story just for myself, just as a special story in my heart. But I have decided to share it with you all because, again, I love sharing things that make me happy with a little tendency to overshare. And this is a special episode, and you guys are my precious listeners, so it's okay. What am I doing? Oh, this is too random. Anyway, back to my friend. I finally arrived at her room. We finally met after weeks of random texting every now and then. And I already have a solid impression about her because the nature of our talk on the podcast was pretty deep and honest. And so I kind of, um, and we're friends already, like close friends already, at least from my side. So I knew what the kind of person I was going to meet. But that feeling of friendship, intensified even more after I met her face to face. She's such a sweetheart. We talked a lot that night. We shared things that's quite amazing for two persons who just met to share. I don't know, I guess there's just instant trust between us. We really talked a lot. We talked for hours. We only slept because I got a long day for scheduled works the next morning. So she needed some rest. And we're only resting after almost 3, if I remember correctly. I gifted me. She gifted me a beautiful notebook and a pen for my birthday, which 2 days ago I finally started to use. I promised her that I will use. I will write on that notebook until there's no empty page left. We parted ways at 7:30. I was getting ready for work and continue her trip before going back to Bandung, where she lives and works. And I had to go back to my place and continue with my day. The day after that, in the afternoon, my mom rang me, and we talk a lot. We talk for a very long time. Mama told me that she's getting healthier and that she only needed one more checkup to make sure everything's all right with her. Mama told me about how everyone was taking care of her. She told me about the friends and family coming to visit. Even the people from the market where my mama used to buy goods at, they came to visit. Some of her friends actually came twice a day, Mama told me. Our neighbor as well, they came multiple times a day, bringing all kinds of foods. Her friends from college as well, even her friends from her previous office, like those friends she hasn't met for years, even my uncle's ex-girlfriend, they all came to visit. And hearing my mama um, telling me stories about that, it I don't know, it it made me realize how special my mom is. Like she's just the kindest person ever. Like I don't know. Even if she's not my mom, if even if she's not my mother, she's the best person, irrespective to whether she is my mother or not. And thank God that she is my mother, that I am her daughter. She's that kind of person, loved by everyone because she's so kind to everyone. I'm so proud of her, like really, really, really proud. You know, having so many people visiting Mama after having heard about her accident, it's just a testament of what kind of person my Mama is. And I'm so proud. My heart felt like bursting out of pride when Mama told me about that. I'm just so proud of being her daughter, and being born and raised by such a special and wonderful human being that my mama is. You know, everything I went through in the course of those few days around my birthday, it left me with lots of thoughts to contemplate, and I hope I can use my days to contemplate over that over and over and use it as a reason and motivation to keep trying to be a better human being for my own sake and for the sake of everyone around me. And I also realized that meeting, and being surrounded by good, kind people is something to be grateful for. I realize, you know, good people is the most having good people around us is the most beautiful blessing someone can get in their life. I totally realize that. Like from the many stories and my random experiences with people, human, and my own personal relationship with people, with my family, with my friends, I keep realizing over and over again just how much of a blessing being surrounded by good people is. The gift of family, of health, of good relationship with our loved ones and with people in general is something we should be grateful for and should never be taken for granted. That's one of the most important lessons I got during the occasion of my birthday this year. And I hope I will never forget that and keep living my life with the understanding about that. And as I said in the beginning, the most profound lesson I got, especially from what happened with my mom, is treasure our life and treasure all we have in life. That's really the most important lesson I got. Like to live every moment like it's going to be our last day, but at the same time to fight for our life, to plan for our future as if we're going to live forever. That's that's what I learned as well, and what I hope um, I can apply the lesson in living my everyday life in planning my life in the bigger picture. Um, yeah, I guess that's what I want to talk about. The many realization and many lesson I thankfully able to get in the occasion of my birthday. And I don't know, I just want to talk about gratitude, I guess. Um uh now I don't want to talk what else I can talk about for this special episode. I should just end this before it gets too long. I want to end this episode by reading the caption of my Instagram post I wrote for my birthday. Wait. Why am I recording my podcast as if I have people right in front of me? When in reality, as I'm recording this, I'm only rambling to my phone. And why am I laughing all by myself? Oh, goodness. Anyway, this is the notes that I put as my Instagram, the caption of my Instagram post for my birthday, and I will read it to close this episode. So here we go. Another day, another year, another lap around the sun. At some point, numbers no longer matter, and what's left is only a grateful heart. It has always been gratitude of the constant blessings, of the newly uncovered blessings. Dear God, with all the fibers of my being, I thank you for the fact that I am overwhelmed with thankfulness. I am thankful for my life, for all the lesson learned, for all the love felt, for all the wisdom earned. I am thankful for my parents, for their health, for their love, and for their mere existence. I am thankful for my siblings, for the joy, for their love, for their loyalty, for their existence. I am thankful for my friends, for all the time spent in good talk, for their love, for their friendship. I am thankful for all the people I know, for their story, for being a little part in their lives and them a significant part in mine. I am thankful for all the strangers that ever crossed paths with me, for all the faint smiles, for all the genuine nods. I am thankful for nature, for the thick green leaves, for the many shades of sky, for the sun and for the rain. I am thankful for my heart, for never once abandoning love, hope, and faith in spite of everything. Life for me is about living honestly and truthfully, moment to moment, amidst the waves, the calms, the smooth, and the edges. I promise to appreciate my time with my loved ones, to not miss any chances to say, I love you, I am sorry, thank you. To not take love and life for granted. My dad always says, we own nothing in this world, Nag. What we can do is utilizing what we're allowed happen to the best of our capability towards a better life. Despite my flawed nature, I am confident I am able to live to the fullest, to feel the blessing and treat it the way I supposed to, towards Iman and Taqwa, towards gratitude and contentment. To all of you, I am happy to have crossed paths with you in this journey of life, and I thank you for allowing me to have parts of you as you so kindly accept parts of me. May we all live kindly. May we have the means to achieve our goals. May we have the strength to make out the meaning of every road we take and every emotion we feel. Well, that's all for this episode. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying it, and I'm sorry for this talk being so random. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoying it as much as I do because I honestly am enjoying it so much. I thank you for wishing me a happy birthday. Uh, I thank you for being in my life directly and indirectly. And let's all live with purpose and with joy and happiness. That's all. Bye until the next episode.